Hi, this is Mike here. Just got my 23 Ford Maverick Hybrid about a month ago, and wanted to do a little video because I've been on all these forums just like you guys, waiting, excited about it. I work for a Porsche dealership here in the city, and we have a gentleman that does all our videos for all these luxury cars, and he does a great job. So I figured, hey, what better honest review would you get than someone who does luxury cars reviews? So I've asked my friend Colin to join us today and do an honest evaluation of the 23 Ford Maverick Hybrid.
Thank you for that eloquent introduction, Mike. So as said, my name is Colin Doherty. I am the product specialist, tour guide, social media guru at Porsche Nashua, and I have the very lucky privilege of presenting this Ford Maverick to you guys. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the appearance of the car, all of the exterior details, then some of the nice interior design features, and finally, we're going to talk about drivetrains and the driving experience. In the middle of that somewhere, I'm going to put a nice little interview I had with Mike just a couple minutes ago too, just some questions and answers. So let's dig in. Starting on the outside of this car, paint color. This is called Area 51. Discontinued for 2024, unfortunately. It's quite a nice color. In fact, the Maverick range has a couple of really nice colors like this, Cyber Orange, Cactus Gray, all really nice colors. This car also features the black appearance package. What that gives you is this blacked out grille, a black Ford emblem, black headlight housings, which I'm a big fan of. Around the side, you get black mirrors as well as black wheels. Really nice details. If you're thinking about ordering one of these, I would highly recommend this package. It really makes everything look a little bit more aggressive. Other little details I'm a big fan of in this car is things like these little lines over the headlight covers. Just adds a little bit of texture and a little bit of detail. Moving around to the side of the car. Once again, you get these very beautiful alloy wheels finished in black thanks to that black appearance package. This car is an XLT, which is the mid-range model, probably about all you need, but you can also step up to the Lariat if you want full leather seats and a couple other assistance features. Around back of the Maverick. So you have another couple of good details, part of the black appearance package, including the taillight housings right here. Once again, adds a nice bit of aggression, as well as the Ford logo back here being black. A small modification Mike made to this car is in the lettering back here in Maverick. Typically it's just stamped in, but there are already some accessories you can use to fill in those holes. It looks really classy. In the bed of the Maverick, you have quite a couple neat features back here. Of course, being a pickup truck, you have a couple cutouts for your drinks when you're tailgating. This car has a stamped steel bed as opposed to an aluminum bed like an F-150 or most full-size trucks. What that means is this is going to be more prone to rust over the next 5, 10, 20 years, so it is very advisable to get some sort of a bed liner for this car. Other little things you have include a full household style outlet, a couple lights back here, as well as hookups for accessories. So if you do decide to add light bars, things like that, you already have the hookups pre-built right from Ford. The interior of the Maverick. Honestly, this is a really nice place to spend time. The material choices, while utilitarian, are done in such a way that it is pretty inoffensive. The dashboard has a nice bit of texture to it, and the gray plastic on the door panels, the passenger side dashboard, have a little bit of a nice texture to it to make it look like it's cut from stone or something like that. Really breaks up the interior a bit. The door panels also have some really nice texture, kind of echoing some of the details on the outside of the car. As far as technology goes, you have a touchscreen right next to your hand. It is very easy to use. Not the most complicated thing in the world, which I vastly prefer. I want to do everything as quickly as possible and get my focus back on the road. The storage space on this car is also fantastic. There are all sorts of cubbies and nooks and crannies in this car to fit everything you might be carrying with you. You can fit oversized water bottles, wallets, keys, anything like that. There will be a perfectly shaped home for it in this interior. Mike even has a fire extinguisher in the back seat, which is a pretty perfect use. This car also has the shifter that is a dial not everybody's cup of tea. Personally, I'm not super opposed to it. I think it's quite good. And when you are moving around in a parking lot doing 3-point turns, it really doesn't bother you that much, but it is worth mentioning that it is not to everybody's taste. Visibility outside of the car is very good. You have quite a tall hood, which the engine doesn't necessarily need the space, but it does add quite a nice look to the rest of the car. It gives it a bit of a brawny appearance. Next up is the powertrain. This particular car is the hybrid, so what you get with that is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with a hybrid unit installed. This particular car makes a combined 191 horsepower and 152 pound-feet of torque is the number I've seen. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. These hybrids are only front-wheel drive. If you want a all-wheel drive version, you would have to step up to the turbocharged EcoBoost engine with about 255 horsepower, quite a bit more expensive, and really the hybrid is the one you want. That's kind of the point of these cars. Now, I thought this would be a very good time to engage in a bit of a debate and what this car is competing against. Because it is such a small truck, it doesn't really have any natural predators, so we have to get a little unconventional. I think the main competitors for this car are things like the Subaru Crosstrek and Outback, the Honda Civic hatchback, and even the Toyota Prius. A lot of people are looking for a utilitarian, fuel-efficient, cheap SUV, and this satisfies all of those things in a very interesting way, in a very novel way. I really hope that we see other automakers embark in something like this, and we get some small truck competition again. I think it would be a lot of fun, and this might lead to utes in the United States, which, if you know anything about utes, that would be the coolest thing in the world. All right, we are driving the Ford Maverick. So, I did want to clarify something I said in the last part about the competitors to this car. Yes, there are pickup truck competitors to this, things like the Hyundai Santa Cruz, Honda Ridgeline, and Toyota Tacoma. These cars are all a little bit bigger. If you were trying to get a car that was a hardcore off-roader or it was really good for towing, this is not the car for you, but I'm pretty sure most Maverick owners know this. And I think because Ford has discontinued their cars and hatchbacks, this is the closest thing that we will ever get to a Ford Focus type car again. I think this is much more interesting, much more exciting, and much cooler than a Ford Focus, but I think that's kind of the ethos of this car. As far as the actual driving experience goes, it's really nice. The power handoff when you are accelerating from a stop, the handoff from electric to gasoline is very smooth. When it comes to the steering and handling of this car, of course, it is not the most exciting thing in the world, and it's not trying to be. This is a small truck, so of course this does not feel like a Cayman GT4. They're not trying to. The steering is pretty over-assisted, a little vague, but at the end of the day, it's not lacking in anything. I don't feel like I'm in danger steering this car and I have no idea what's happening. It is very well connected. Same thing with the brakes. Nothing incredible, nothing to write home about, but competent, absolutely. Acceleration on this car is actually quite good. It's nothing crazy, of course, but if you give it a bit of a hard time, the engine revs right up and you get a little bit of a push from the hybrid system. It's more fun than you would think. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. Ford knows how to make a bit of a raucous engine. They're not strangers to that. The driver assistance features, while that's not something I personally care too much about, but it all works very, very well. Of course, blind spot monitors, lane keep assist, things like that work very well, and it is very cromulent. So I'm just doing a little 3-point turn here, and when you put the car into reverse, I hope you can hear this, but when you put the car in reverse, it makes the cutest little kind of, that's very unique. I know most hybrids need to make some sort of noise. It's the first time I've heard one like that. Overall though, this is a phenomenal car to drive. It's nothing crazy impressive or anything like that, but once again, I just love the fact that Ford had the audacity to make a car like this and put it to market, especially at such a cheap price. I think the product that they're offering here is so strong and No part is let down. Ford clearly put a lot of R&D money into this car. They clearly cared, and it shows in this car, and I think Ford is going to benefit greatly from this. We know that Toyota, a couple other companies, are trying to make a small truck like this to go against them, and I think that speaks volumes to how this car has shaken up the small truck market, and I'm here for it. So here I am with Mike now with a little interview. Of course, we all want to know what possesses somebody to buy a Ford Maverick. So Mike, what possessed you to buy this Ford Maverick?
Well, I've always had a truck as a second vehicle. And back in the day, in the early 2000s, the Ford Ranger was a smaller, more compact pickup truck. And with the new Rangers in current years, they went to this almost like a mini 150. They're just bigger and bigger. And same with Toyota and all the other makers, Nissan, the Frontier. They all went to a bigger, compact, if you will, pickup truck. So I wanted to get back to that. So when I heard Ford was going to make the Maverick and kind of get back to that smaller pickup, which has a lot more mobility in the city, and with the hybrid, a lot more mobility with gas mileage.
Sure, efficiency and all that.
So I thought that the Ford Maverick would be a great fit for me.
Absolutely.
So I sold my 150. Probably a little too soon because I waited over a year for this. So, but well worth the wait.
Sure, and you mentioned you waited about a year for this car.
Yeah.
What was the ordering experience like? How long were you waiting? When did you know how everything was coming along?
Well, once I realized that I did my research and realized I wanted a Ford Maverick, I didn't realize the popularity of the brand. So I went to the dealership in March of 22 and basically got in line. And then they opened up the order banks in September. Actually, they were supposed to open it up in August, and then they got pushed back. Then the day they opened the order banks, what happened was they crashed.
Oh my goodness.
So it was an extra day when they opened up the order banks.
So it was about 6
September.
months. So it was about 6 months from expressing interest to actually putting in an order.
Exactly.
Was it worth the wait?
Well worth the wait. Well worth the wait. First of all, Grapponi Ford up in Bow, New Hampshire. Sorry.
Hi, Grapponi.
Yeah, super people. There's been a lot of problems with people buying these for way over MSRP.
Sure.
And Grapponi kept it at the MSRP. Not only that, but when I actually signed for it, Ford honored a price protection. So they gave me money back because I had ordered it so far in advance and waited so long.
You must be the only Maverick owner to come out ahead.
There's a few, and here again, it's because of the honesty and the integrity of the dealer.
That's awesome.
What
are you getting for fuel economy in this car?
Right now, I'm averaging about 40 miles a gallon, which I'm very pleased with.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to do better, actually.
Absolutely. Have people gotten more?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've got about 600 miles out of a tank.
Wow.
So I'm not
really
there yet,
impressive.
but then again, I'm not even through my second tank of gas, and I've had it for a month.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
all good things.
It's only going to get better.
Indeed.
And it's been real hot, as you know. So that air conditioner is cranking. But even when it's on all electric, that air conditioner output is fantastic for this vehicle.
Good to know.
Unbelievable.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Well, I'd like to thank Colin from Porsche of Nashua. Check out their YouTube channel. Some great videos on there if you like high-end cars like Porsches. Colin does a great job, but he also did a great job on this. But final thoughts?
Final thoughts? It's a really nice truck. I'm a big fan of it. I think the biggest surprise is just the fuel economy of it. I was not expecting 40 miles per gallon out of a small truck. I think that's the nicest thing, but really the interior is such a nice place to spend time. I think the use of colors is really intelligent. I like the way they broke up the plastics. I like the exterior color. I love the black optics package. Really, there is not much to complain about with a car like this.
I couldn't agree with you
I'm really
more.
impressed.
And that's why I wanted you to kind of review it, because you're used to reviewing these high-end luxury cars that go for 4 times as much as this,
Sure.
if not more. And you know, I value your opinion, and really, really appreciate you taking the time out and reviewing the 23 Ford Maverick Hybrid XLT.
Appreciate the opportunity. I can't wait for the next one.
All right, see you at work tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Be sure to subscribe and check out more things from Nashua, New Hampshire. Thanks again.
Excellent.